Gonna go meet Danny. I haven't gotten any like great dives in a while, so this is just gonna be like a post-work jump in for a couple hours, see what we get kind of day. Getting into the water, it was not the greatest. Conditions were fishable, but barely. This is what the footage looks like after it's been color graded, after I've pulled out a lot of that green and blue. It is still quite murky. I had those two little papillots. I was just dropping down, checking everything out, trying to see what was out and around. There's a school of uhu, but they're all kind of smaller, so I didn't bother going after them. But you can see just how murky the visibility is. It was barely comfortable enough to fish. Despite the visibility and how it looked pretty murky, it turned out it was more of a surface layer. Once you got past it and dropped kind of below that like planktonic surface murk, it was quite a bit clearer. Dropping down, there was quite a bit of life. A lot of the tangs, or surgeonfishes, they're named for that because they actually have the scalpel-like blade on the side of their caudal peduncle, which is where the tail attaches to the body. Some of them have exposed ones, some of them keep them in. I actually saw this kala and tried to pull for it, and I was able to get a weird shot. I don't think I've shot fish like this that I can remember, where it was sort of a tail tube shot, but it worked, it held, and I really like kala. I know some people don't prefer this fish, but I actually like it. I think it's really good filleted and then fried. I have used it for soup. A lot of the time I'll throw extra fillets into different fish soups and fish chowders to just kind of add more protein. And this is cutting off the blades. Again, the surgeonfishes like the kala that have exposed blades, it's really easy for them to shank you on accident, so just cutting off those blue spines. Species name for this is actually Naso unicornis, or blue spine unicorn fish. If you look in the mouths of the surgeonfishes, they have, a lot of the time it looks like spiny teeth, so it's really thin, kind of needle-like teeth, and that's actually for scraping algae and diatoms off of the side of the reef. So you'll see these grazing fishes a lot of the time have teeth similar like that to kind of comb off the algae from the rocks in the reef. We moved spots, and there was actually a lot of this really pretty structure. A lot of these caves, sometimes there are some really nice sized omilu hanging out in them. I have broken and bent shafts. I saw this uhu and was kind of trying to get a line on her, but she kept dipping in and out of those rocks. Some good sized to'au. I do like shooting to'au. I think they're really tasty. Nice flaky fish. Some of my Filipino friends love it. They deep fry it, and then there's a soup that they really like making out of it. So also a lot of my gonggong, my grandfather's Filipino friends, they're always asking for to'au and ta'ape, and whenever I shoot some extra, I like to give them to them. But today, didn't end up shooting any. While I am pretty new to spearfishing, I've been a freediver and marine biologist for like over 10 years, so it's kind of weird. A lot of my drops, and even when I shoot fish, is usually fairly quick. I'd say my average drop is only like 45 seconds to like a minute and 15. So one of the big things that I think really helps me out is actually watching fish silhouettes. You can see that uhu over there, but just based on how fish move their fins, I'm usually able to identify them. And I think that's kind of what helps me out whenever I spearfish with some of my friends, where I'm able to spot fish usually that they don't notice, and they're normally a little bit farther off because they notice something about the motion and the silhouette. So that's why clips like this are kind of nice. I actually learned how to identify fish by watching videos of them swim, and you have to be able to identify different species a lot of the time based on just silhouette and random markings. And I think that's kind of what helps clue me into what's going on. Practice learning fish silhouettes is what really helped me out here. I spotted something moving in the murk, and I thought it was an uhu, so I dropped to the bottom and then started tracking it, and it turned out to be a really nice big male uhu. This is one of the red lips. I closed on him, and this is about max range for my gun. I couldn't tell where I shot it, so I ended up letting go of the gun, making sure it couldn't pull tension, and then rushed the fish. As soon as I grabbed it, I realized it was a good holding shot. Even though it went on the gut on one side, it came out the gill cover on the other. I love these fish. I love eating them. I also think that they're absolutely beautiful. When I dispatch them, I'm trying to be careful just to stab the brain. I don't actually want to break the otoliths, the bones in the brain case. Fish have bones that are typically set right behind the brain case on either side called the otoliths. You can use them by cutting them in half and grinding them down to actually figure out how old every fish is. So I've been starting to take some uhu data just based on my own catches, measuring the length of the fish, taking the weight of them, and then I would like to start comparing that to the age of each of the different fish. That's more just for personal interest. I think that uhu are growing larger in certain areas and smaller in others, and I'm kind of curious if there's an age difference or if it's just kind of a size difference and they're growing at the same rate. But yeah, this male was absolutely beautiful and delicious. I absolutely love them. The markings are gorgeous. I saw a giant shadow, and I think it was like a 20-pound ava. By the time I turned and turned on the GoPro, it was gone. But where I turned, there was this big female uhu. So I'm right at the surface. I am just dropping down. That like 6 seconds or whatever, that's how long it actually took me to line up the shot and actually take it. I wasn't sure how good of a shot it was. I could see it was mid-body. Sometimes I can still tear off. So I pinned her to the ground, made sure I secured the fish. Right now, my breath hold was 0. I was, my adrenaline was pumping from just having shot that other uhu and seeing that big ava. And especially when I'm tired, I was running on maybe like 3 hours of sleep. My breath hold is next to nothing. This was a super lucky shot. And I love the dimorphism, the difference between the males and the females, the sexual dimorphism. This is the female of the same species, the Scarus rubroviolaceus, or whiptail, or red lip uhu. I had already been having a great day after I got that big blue, and then adding the red, she was over 8 pounds. Just absolutely made my day. After that point, I was just kind of casually lazy fishing, mostly just dropping down, enjoying my time in the water, seeing if something else came along, sure, I'd take a shot at it, but for the most part, I was done. As soon as I get a good fish, I'm usually happy, and that pressure relaxes. I remember it was kind of hard to see, but there was a decent sized kala in the back, and I figured, okay, maybe I'll take one more. So I was able to close and then landed it. I know the fishing rules are different based on what island you're on, and there was a new grazing fish update that changed a lot of the regulations. So the bag limit for uhu is 2 per person per day, and that's all species combined. There's a different minimum size for the big body uhu, which are the fantails and the whiptails, and then the smaller uhu species, there's only a 10-inch minimum. For kala, there is a bag limit of 4 per person per day. A lot of the time I like to go down anytime I see big schools of tangs or surgeonfishes, so like big schools of manini or maiko. Sometimes we'll see palani and pualu. You'll see big schools of those. They're roving grazers, and so you'll see the whole school kind of moving and picking, and a lot of the time you'll get like uhu, sometimes mu, that will kind of be following them. So I was just dropping down to see what was traveling with them, and you can see it's a big mix. You have the Chaetodon olivaceus, like the olive tangs or nai. You have pualu, you have some palani in there, you have some maiko. It's just sort of a mix of everything. And then you have the kala kind of mixed through. A lot of them, just based on behavior, will all kind of move together and graze down patches. I didn't shoot anything then, but I did want to kind of try and see if I could bag maybe one more fish. On this next drop, same thing. Was just watching the grazers, watching the school, and I saw another decent-sized kala, and you can barely see it, but took a shot on that one, was able to land that fish, and that was my last fish for the day.
I decided to call it. We've only been in the water for like 2 hours. But the sun, we lost the sun behind the clouds. As soon as that happened, it got dark, and I'm not here for it. I also got plenty of fish. I am set. I'm happy. I'm just gonna chill until Dan gets back.